my phone in the bathroom. Go ahead, sweetie, just hurry back. There it is, the trick. It didn't work on anybody else, but Miss Carter, she was the golden ticket. Every week, it was the same move. Fourth period, same delivery. I think I left my phone in the bathroom. I think I left my phone in gym class. I think my phone's in the cafeteria. She always believed him. She never asked for follow-ups. So this kid would disappear for 10, 15 minutes. He would hit the vending machine. He would chill in the hallway. And this never failed until it did. On Friday, he pulls the move. Miss Carter, I left my... Go check. Just hurry up. Boom, gone. He does the thing. He's strolling the hallways. Goes to the vending machine. His normal routine. Well, 10 minutes later, he comes back to class, and she's lecturing about something. He tunes out. After being completely spaced out for a couple of minutes, he then, dead serious, raises his hand and goes, Miss Carter, I think I left my phone in the bathroom. The class freezes. Didn't he just do that? Wait, you left it again? The same phone? He completely spaced out. He did it for a second time in one class. He's cooked. I think I've been played. This kid gets written up, and that trick never worked ever again. Nice try though, kid. You are stealing from the school. I'm charging my phone. Exactly. This kid plugs his phone into the wall outlet during class. It wasn't a distraction. His phone just had low battery, and they were doing a free work period, so what's the big deal? Well, the teacher sees this and loses it. Unplug that now. You are stealing school electricity. It's a phone charger. Unplug it or you're suspended and will bill you for the power you used. He thinks there's no way that the school would go that far, so he doesn't unplug his phone. But the school, they wanted to punish him. They were ready. He gets called to the office the next day. Official suspension. And he got a notice to appear before a disciplinary committee. What? All this for using the wall outlet in class. So he shows up. Calm, silent. Well, young man, theft is theft, no matter how small. Cool. Here's 10 cents. Keep the change. Excuse me, you're not done here. Oh, yes, I am. Bye. And he walks out. He didn't do that as an actual payment. He did it as a statement, because the electricity he used probably cost the school less than a penny, and he gave them 10 times that, just to show how ridiculous this all was. And just to punish him and make an example out of him, the school district spent hundreds of dollars filling out forms, calling this meeting, filing reports just to punish him. So they're the real losers in this fight. And this kid just walked out, no care in the world. What an absolute legend. The worst part of a sleepover was the morning. You're tired, the air smells weird, your friend is always sleeping longer than you are, so you have to deal with their parents. I hated that. Well, this one kid shared a story about a sleepover he went to when he was a kid. They wake up. His friend asks, so you want to stay for breakfast? Sure. Honestly, he should have left right then and there. That was a trap. He could have dipped, but instead, he's eating boiled spinach, microwaved eggs, and a glass of milk. The worst combo of all time. Why was this kid's parents making that for breakfast? I don't know. You like it, sweetie? Yeah, yummy. You barely touched your spinach. I'm savoring it. Meanwhile, his friend's little brother, who's staring at him, says, you eat weird. What? He survives breakfast. Barely. He sticks around for a little bit and then he wants to go home, but by this time it's 3 p.m. They ask him if he wants to play a board game. Guess he doesn't want to make his friend feel bad, so he says yes. But the game was Monopoly. The longest game ever. He was playing Monopoly and he's starting to get real antsy. He's got to go. He's texting his mom, please come pick me up. It's an emergency. 6 p.m. Ding, his mom texts him. Here. He grabs his backpack. All right, guys, thanks for having me. My mom's out front. And his friend starts shaking. Wait, you're leaving? Yeah, man, it's Sunday night. But I thought we'd hang out all week. Bro, we got school tomorrow. And then his friend starts crying. But you're my best friend. You're my best friend. I know, man. I know. All right, see you guys. He gets into the car and says to himself, never again. This has to be the weirdest sleepover ever. Everything was chill until about 6 p.m. Sleepover's been going smooth, pizza, Mario Kart, chillin'. Then suddenly his friend goes, oh, my stomach hurts. At first, he just shrugs it off. By 7 p.m., it got worse. It's on the floor, groaning. His mom's panicking. Honey, are you okay? It hurts so bad. We're going to the ER right now. That's when he says, wait, what about me? You stay here with Grandma, sweetie. Bye. What? Door slams, tires screech, they're gone. Hello there. I'm Grandma. Hi. Wanna watch Wheel of Fortune? Sure. My insides are on fire! We're almost there. Stay with me, sweetie. Stay with me. What you knitting? Well, I'm making you a hat, my dear. Awesome. Somebody help, my son is dying. I have lasagna and cookies for us. It smells amazing. Count backwards from 10, please. 10. 9. Good. Scalpel. Oh dear, I'm tired too. Look at that, it's 8:30 p.m. Past our bedtime. Why don't you head upstairs, go to sleep. I'll head to my room. See you in the morning, dear. Sweet dreams, Grandma. And that's how a kid had the best night of his life with his friend's grandma, while his friend was in the hospital having surgery because his appendix burst. Who could have saw that coming? Every school has a mystery. This one had a poopatrator. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's what they called him. Someone was sneaking into the bathrooms and smearing, not tagging, not vandalizing, straight up finger painting on the stalls with poop. There's been another Code Brown. I repeat, there's been another Code Brown. That's literally what they called this. It was a real phrase, a real alert. The janitor would sigh, grab his gloves, and head in. One day, a kid opens the stall and he freezes. It's art. A whole drawing smeared on the stall door. A sun drawn in the corner. A flower in the middle. A barn with a horse outside of it on the left side. All smeared in human feces. Look, dude, why is it actually good? Like, it was actually impressive. Nobody knew who was doing this, but after weeks of chaos, they caught him, brown-handed. They caught him in the act, mid-sketch. Turns out he did this every time he went number 2. He got expelled after that. And for 2 years after that, to try to avoid copycats, they had people monitoring the bathrooms at all times. All because of one poop Picasso. That's crazy. Why is the principal sprinting down the hall? He's here! Because the mayor's here. So the mayor was coming to visit this school. Everybody's acting that the Queen of England's gonna show up. And the week before, there was an actual assembly. The principal gets on the stage and he goes, "Please do not pull the fire alarm during the mayor's visit unless there's an actual fire." Okay? Everyone just kind of looks around and is like, why would he say that? Was somebody planning to? Thing is, there hasn't been a single fire drill in months, let alone somebody actually pulling it. No one had even thought about it. Of course, until now. Day of the visit, school is spotless. The staff is in full PR mode, and the mayor's shaking hands. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm the mayor. Thanks for having me, I'm the mayor. And then it goes off. The mayor's mid-photo, like, oh, what? Teachers are sprinting, the principal's yelling, no. And the best part's nobody's panicking. The students aren't panicking at all. They calmly line up and walk out. They're like, of course this would happen today, of course. Eventually they found the kid who did this. All he says is, they made such a big deal about it, I had to do it. I just had to do it. And that's how the mayor's visit became a school-wide evacuation. One day at school, 2 girls started throwing hands in the lunch line over a yogurt. 1 single cup of strawberry chobani. Lunch was already chaotic that day. They ran out of chicken sandwiches early and the drink cooler was broken. So everybody's tense. Then a senior cuts the line and grabs the last yogurt off the tray. Another girl behind her goes, "Yo, that's mine. You didn't pay for it yet." "Yeah, but I was next. You cut me." They go back and forth, then suddenly, boom. Tray gets smacked, yogurt hits the floor and explodes everywhere. And then it begins. A full-blown fight cuts loose. Security's still halfway across the lunchroom trying to make their way. People are gathering, phones out recording this. But in the dead background, you can see Mrs. Jenkins, the school principal, standing there, arms crossed, definitely invested in this fight. Hey, cut it out. Kids are yelling, "Hey, somebody should stop them. Mrs. Jenkins, do something. I'm observing, okay? Security's coming, it's fine. Ladies, please." The girls get pulled apart. Nobody is seriously hurt. Just a busted lip and a ripped backpack. But the footage hit Snapchat that afternoon with the caption, "Mrs. Jenkins ringside." Nobody got suspended, just a couple detentions were handed out. For the rest of the year, whenever kids saw Mrs. Jenkins in the cafeteria, they would chuckle to themselves. Look at Mrs. Jenkins. She's only here because she wants to see round 2. Can't blame her. Can't blame her. This kid got in trouble for running in the sandbox. Not fighting, not throwing sand, running. He was in 1st grade, and apparently the school had a rule. No running in the sandbox. Well, this kid always got very excited to play, like a kid should. It's recess, there's a sandbox, I would be excited as well. And he got punished for it. Not just once, they gave this kid over 20 detentions for running in a sandbox in 1st grade. And then, at the end of the year, the school planned a field trip. But the principal says to this kid, "You've had too many infractions. You cannot attend the field trip." So the parents say, "This is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe the school is doing this. You know what? Let's take him ourselves." So they take him. Same place, same day. They bought their own tickets. I think it was like a zoo or something. Well, the school finds out. They see him at this place. And the principal suspends the kid on the last day of school because he showed up to the same place as the school field trip with his parents. So, instead of going to the last day of school, this kid's grandma took him shopping at the mall. And honestly, that sounds way better. What kind of school is this? This kid started a war at the zoo. 5th grade field trip to the zoo. Everyone's hyped. The teacher's already stressed. You know, they get to the primate exhibit. The absolute best exhibit in any frickin' zoo. Alright class, hands to yourselves please. Let's respect the facility and the gorillas, okay? There's this one kid. You know, that kid. He picks up a stick and launches it into the gorilla exhibit. Well, the stick lands on the ground right next to a full-grown silverback gorilla. The gorilla turns, sees the kid, grabs the stick, and throws it back. Smack! The stick explodes across this kid's chin. He drops, screaming, blood's everywhere. Chaos. This class is freaking out, teachers are screaming, and then the rest of the gorillas show up, all gathered on the other side of the fence right next to this class. They just rolled in like backup, and they're all just smacking the ground. You know, they're all angry. And it's gotta be horrifying for these kids. They're yelling, they're pounding the glass. This is gonna kill me! They're gonna kill me! What is going on? Well, the pounding on the glass alerted the orangutans, who were on just the other side of this exhibit. And they rolled in like backup as well. So now it's like a dozen silverback gorillas, a dozen orangutans, all just pounding the glass in the ground on the other side of this class on a field trip. Dear God. That's when the gorillas and the orangutans start pooping in their hand and chucking the poop at the glass. Back to the buses. Now. The zoo staff swarms in from all sides. They shut this entire thing down. The exhibit is closed for the rest of the day. 30 minutes later, the school's banned from the zoo for life. And the kid who got the stick thrown at him left in an ambulance. He had to get stitches. That is absolutely insane. This happened in the school cafeteria. There was a student with a severe peanut allergy. Like the kind where touching residue would send him into complete shock. Everybody knew this, it was serious. But then there was this one kid, the class bully. One day at lunch, he pulls out a Reese's peanut butter cup. You know the ones. He eats it in front of this kid with the allergy, chewing it slowly on purpose. Hey man, quit messing around, man. Okay, keep away from me. Then he licks his finger. Hey. He starts chasing the allergy kid around the cafeteria. Come on, come here. One little touch, man. Stay away from me. He's laughing like it's just some game. And then taps the kid on the arm. Within seconds, this kid's face starts swelling up. Eyes puffed shut, he falls to the ground gasping. The nurse rushes in, she uses the EpiPen, and he gets sent to the ER. He nearly died, pretty much. But the bully? 2-week suspension. That's it? That's it. That was it. The kid with the allergy's parents tried to press charges. But there was some kind of settlement. Turns out the bully's parents had a lot of money that they donated to the school. And the school buried this. Karma's gonna get that kid one day. I swear. That's messed up. This kid gets caught cheating on purpose. This happened last spring. There's this math teacher, right? She's super strict, but only to certain kids. Late homework, 0%. Wrong format, 0%. But if your parents were rich, if you were on varsity, if she just liked you, you were fine. And everybody knew it, but nobody could prove it. But then there's Noah. He was the top of his class. He literally had a spreadsheet to track his GPA. One day he wanted to prove that this teacher was a little biased. So during a quiz, he leans way over his desk and stares at the person next to his quiz. Like clearly cheating. Can I see? The teacher looks up, sees him doing this, but nothing. Completely ignores it. The next week, there's another quiz. Now, Noah's friend Kyle, the teacher didn't like that much, so this was the other half of their plan. During that quiz, Kyle begins cheating off of somebody else, and he doesn't get very far. Office now. Not even 2 seconds into Kyle cheating, the teacher sees this and calls him out immediately. Kyle gets 2 days of in-school suspension. Noah, nothing. So their theory was proven. A few days after that, they go to the principal together and they explain to the principal the situation that's going on. And believe it or not, thank you for sharing this. I believe you guys. Yes, I'll have a talk with her. I promise. The teacher was out for a few days, but when she came back, she was a whole lot more fair. I bet that principal really gave her a talking to. It's summer camp. Midnight. Most of the cabins are asleep when this kid wakes up to a sound. Hey, did you hear that? The sound is crying somewhere in the woods. It's not a normal cry either, like full-on sobbing, muttering. Is that an animal? Dude, I think it's a person. Well, these two campers sneak out with their flashlights and start searching through the trees. Hello? Anybody out here? Hello, we hear the crying. They find her, a camp counselor sitting on a rock, barefoot, crying. He said he loved me. But then he kissed Jenna on the dock like I don't exist? They're campers, and she's a counselor. This is not their business. Do you want us to get, like, another counselor or something? I can call some... No, I'm fine. Don't tell anybody you saw me. What the heck? The next morning, she's at breakfast and she's acting normal, like she wasn't just scream-crying into a pine tree 8 hours before this. But that rock that she was sitting on, they called that rock Breakup Rock for years after that. Is that a car on the football field? Yo, that's Miss Shelton. So Miss Shelton had been teaching at this school for forever. AP Chem, strict, she was sharp, she wore heels on lab days and she'd never smiled. But within these last few weeks, she'd been slipping. Her hair's messy, she's forgetting the schedule. She told one kid, I am this close to quitting, I swear to God. Well, finals week hits. She hands out the tests, and then she just leaves the room. Someone says, do we follow her? Yo, guys, she's outside. And then everybody goes to the window, and she's standing in the parking lot, staring at her car, motionless. Half the class is watching, half the class is sitting back down, starting the test, when all of a sudden you hear, boom! Tires screeching. The kids run back to the window. Miss Shelton drives across the curve and onto the football field. And she just starts spinning. She's doing donuts in the middle of the football field. Grass and dirt are flying everywhere. Kids are filming. Teachers and gym staff are running outside to the field to see what's going on. They're screaming, my field! What are you doing? And they're just watching her do this. And all of a sudden, she just drives off the football field and parks in front of the front office. She walks in and hands in her name tag and her keys. Here's my keys and, thanks for everything. I'm done. I'm done. And she leaves. Nobody ever saw her again. Apparently, there were tire marks on that football field for weeks after this incident. One of my subscribers sent this story in, and it's genius how simple it is. This kid started a snack business at his school. He posted the menu in his class group chat. People would place orders in advance, and he had a drop spot and everything. First day, chaos. Everyone showed up, they cleared him out, business was booming. But here's the thing, at his school, snacks weren't allowed, like at all. So when students started eating in their classes, the teachers kind of snapped. Where's all this food coming from? And well, one kid panicked and said, so there's this guy. Bingo snitched. The whole thing traced back to him. Kids who were eating snacks in class were getting detentions, and he was shut down completely. Before it got shut down, he made $30 profit on day one. $30 profit on the first day. That's insane. And he tells me he's not done. He said he's gonna take the risk and relaunch. And see, this is the type of mindset that we need. Because the reality of it, schools teach us to be good workers, to stay quietly at a job for the rest of our lives, and do what the man says. But we don't gotta do that. This kid has entrepreneurship. He's got hustle, baby. He's a subscriber with a vision, and you know what I always say, you gotta respect the hustle. Have your parents ever embarrassed you? Listen to this story. So this family's at the mall. A mom and her 2 kids. They grab 3 lemonades from a pretzel stand, take them to the food court, order some pizza. Normal day at the mall. Sounds lovely to me. Well, the lemonade tastes off. Not like poison, just like a weird lemonade. But the kids? Yeah, they're thirsty. So they drink all of it anyway, but the mom, she doesn't. She takes 1 sip and she's done. This lemonade's disgusting. Why would they serve this? She's just complaining about it the entire time they're eating. So after their meal, she drags both of her kids back to that pretzel stand. Yeah, hi, I want a refund for all 3 of these lemonades. They were absolutely horrible. The cashier goes, hey listen, I totally get it. Since you didn't drink yours, I'll refund that one, but your kids drank theirs, so I can't refund theirs. I mean, seems reasonable, right? Nope. The mom snaps. Full-blown meltdown. You think this is fair? Huh? I want my money back for all 3 lemonades. I can't, lady. I can give you some coupons, but that's it. Doesn't help at all. The mom is still going off, and the kids are begging her to stop. Mom, please stop it. It's so embarrassing. Let's go. Let's go, Mom, please. The mom eventually storms off, and they all get in the car. And the whole ride home, the mom's like, you guys made me look stupid. Why did you drink your lemonade? Now they think I'm some sort of joke. I mean, yeah, they probably do. Because you were acting like a fool in the middle of the mall. That's crazy. You are not allowed in the nurse's office anymore. He thought she was joking. She wasn't. This kid got banned from medical care. So in 6th grade, there was this kid, let's call him Owen. Always had some weird stomach thing, or headache, or sore throat. Honestly, yeah, he faked it a lot. He'd go to the nurse's office like it was his part-time job. But one day the nurse goes, Owen, we've seen you 9 times this month. From now on, no more nurse visits unless it's an emergency. He's like, okay, what? Well, 2 weeks later, gym class. They're playing dodgeball, and Owen face plants into the floor. He's seeing stars. He's holding his head. Oh man, he's in a lot of pain. Coach goes, I'm gonna take him to the nurse. He walks into the nurse's office, and the nurse literally said this: Coach, he's playing you. I promise you, he's playing you like a fiddle. He doesn't need the nurse right now. He's completely fine, okay? I don't want to hear it. I have a phone call in 5 minutes. Okay. So for sure, the nurse was being 1000% out of line there. Super dangerous. Anyway, Coach takes Owen back to the gym. How you feeling, buddy? You okay? Now Owen's slurring his words like, I'm fine. I think I just need a nap. Eventually, the coach freaks out. He doesn't even want to deal with the nurse anymore. You guys just sit in the bleachers for the rest of class, okay? I'm taking him to the hospital. He leaves the rest of the class there in the gym, and he drives this kid to the hospital himself. Turns out, Owen actually had a mild concussion, and the coach doesn't take this lightly. He brings it up to the school board. The school board is now in panic mode. The nurse is being investigated. Owen is no longer banned from the nurse's office. This could have very well been a lawsuit. Owen fully recovered. But you know him, once he realized the nurse ban was off, he was still in there multiple times a week just to skip class. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? This teacher's so mean. This kid was 12 years old and he was trying really hard in art class. Whole week he's working on this fruit bowl sketch. He's carefully shading it, blending colors. He's doing his best. Well, he's getting almost close to being done, and he's proud of this. He walks up to the teacher and he says, Hey, Miss Reynolds, you think I'm doing okay on this? She takes one look, she smirks, and says this out loud in front of the entire class. It would be good if a 5-year-old did it. What? You heard me. No one even laughs at this. Even the class clown is sitting there in complete silence, just looking at him. He goes back to his desk, his face is red, and he just rips the painting in half. He didn't turn in another project the rest of the year. Even when he had to, he would just scribble something random on a piece of notebook paper and turn that in. Because why even try when the person who grades you talks to you like that? She killed his confidence and she made him hate what he used to love doing. And that is no way to be a teacher, so screw that lady. You don't eat till I say you can. You are the worst dad ever. At this house, dinner was a test. Every night, the same rule. No slouching, no elbows, no speaking unless you're spoken to. But one night, this dad added a new rule. No food until you've calmed your mind. Well, kid walks in hungry. It's been a long day. He reaches for a plate. Not until you've counted 30 breaths out loud. It's a new rule. The kid tries to laugh it off. Are you serious? The dad just stares. So he starts. 1, 2. By 19, his voice is shaky, and he's very lightheaded. 20? By 21, he just says screw it and reaches for his plate. 20? No. The dad then stops him. Nope. You're done. He takes the plate and he scrapes it into the trash. No dinner for you tonight, son. And nobody's said anything. Not his mom, not his sister. He just sits there and watches the rest of his family eat. Later that night, his sister knocks on his door with a granola bar. Doesn't say a word, just leaves it. After that day, he doesn't eat at the dinner table anymore. He finds a way to get his own food. Or he doesn't eat at all. Yo, that dad is the worst. Oh, when this guy was in high school, the school's bulldog statue, big metal full-on mascot, just vanished. Gone overnight. The next day, it was just an empty base and rumors were spreading. The rival school took it. It's gotta be a senior prank. One teacher said it was melted for scrap. What a dumb rumor. Well, fast forward 15 years, this one guy was having a beer with his older brother. His older brother was a very quiet, low-profile guy in high school. When all of a sudden, his brother said, Hey, remember that bulldog statue in high school? Yeah, I hit it with my truck. It was me. You what? Apparently, it was late at night. He was doing donuts in the school parking lot. And boom. Oh God. The bulldog goes flying off the platform, and instead of owning up to this, he panics. He grabs the statue and tosses it in his trunk like it's a frickin' body. He drives it out to the woods. There's this little bridge by their old house. He parks by it, takes the bulldog out of the trunk, walks to the bridge, and looks around. I'm sorry, buddy. And dumps it. Bulldog sinks to the bottom of the river. Gone forever. Honestly, that is legendary behavior. School had a villain. A mayonnaise villain. Every few days, students would be walking up the main staircase when you would hear, ugh, gross. Somebody would scream, hold up their hand, and it would be covered in mayonnaise. The mayonnaise wouldn't be on top of the railing, it would be underneath. It started in the cafeteria stairwell. Then it spread. Math hallway, science wing became a problem. You'd think that they would install cameras or that they would have cameras in the stairwells, but they didn't. So now everyone's terrified of touching railings because obviously some kid has been taking mayonnaise and smearing it under the railings in every single staircase in the school. And it wasn't like a little bit of mayonnaise. It was a lot. Kids are just walking up the stairs now with their hands to their sides because no one's going to touch that stuff. And nobody knows who's doing this. The janitors are mad. The teachers are furious. The principal makes an announcement. Please, whoever's putting mayonnaise under the railings, stop it! It never stops. There was breaks for a few months, but it never stopped. Until one day, it did, 2 years later. And people assume it's because the mayonnaise bandit graduated. But even still, after that, the legend lives on forever. That's disgusting. It happened in elementary school. A kid gets called out in class. Tyler, that is not appropriate. Go to the office. Then without a word, he stands up, sprints out of the classroom, and runs straight out the front school doors. And just like that, he's gone. The principal gets called. Yeah, we got a runner. They can't find him anywhere. 15 minutes later, the school's on full lockdown. People are starting to actually panic at this point. They call the kid's parents. They come. They're furious. They're freaking out. Where's my son? Where's my son? Police cars surround the building. A helicopter is hovering above. A freaking helicopter. They start searching the woods behind the school. Hours go by. A SWAT team looking unit shows up and they find him a mile away, sitting in a lonely patch of grass, eating a Snickers. Tyler, what are you doing out here, man? I got stressed. And the Snickers, it helps me relax. I feel much better now, by the way. They escort him back. The kid got suspended and his parents had to take him to therapy for a bit. Had to figure out why he would do this in the first place, but still, that day is still known as the Great Tyler Lockdown. That's insane. This is absolutely insane. So Rampart High School was a blue ribbon school. Good grades, solid reputation, but they had barely any money. So the principal has an idea to rent out the gymnasium to make some extra cash. And someone comes up, they want to use it on a Saturday. They say it's just a small event. The guy says, yeah, it's for a church dance, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., 1,000 people max. Well, Saturday night hits, and it's a full-blown rave. Lights, fog machines, thumping bass, it's packed. Over 5,000 people show up. People are drinking, there's a bunch of other crazy stuff going on. And this isn't just a rumor, it was on the news. Here's the article. See, 5,000 people. What is this? The superintendent said this was a major mistake and that they were manipulated by these guys. The rave went on from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. all frickin' night. The company that threw the rave said that they never lied and that kids will be kids, but come on, who would do this? After the rave, the gym was completely destroyed. And I mean like destroyed. The floors, the bleachers, everything. The gym could not be used for the rest of the school year. People start calling the school Ravepart instead of Rampart. And whenever a student from the school's choir sings the national anthem at a school event, they always end it with this. And the home of the rave. Home of the rave. Why is there a piñata in the cafeteria? It's her birthday. So this girl, Olivia, she had a December birthday, and she hated how nobody celebrated it because it was so close to Christmas. There was never any cupcakes, no parties, and she was kind of tired of it. So for weeks leading up to her birthday one year, she saved up some money. She buys 4 giant piñatas, and she stuffed them herself. Dollar bills, candy, snacks, tons of stuff. Her plan was this: 1 piñata in the lunchroom, 1 in the hallway, 1 in the gym, and 1 in her math class. She even brought wooden bats to school to use for these as well. The first one at lunch, she pulls the rope and the piñata rises. She yells, and go! Kids abandon their trays and they rush towards this piñata, fighting over the bat to beat this thing. Candy explodes all over the floor. Dollar bills are floating around. It was awesome. People are going crazy. One teacher tries to stop it. Hey, put that bat down! One kid says, it's a cultural celebration! And the teacher backs off. He's like, alright, fine. Third period. In the math classroom, kids beat the crap out of it. Taffy rains down like confetti, and 2 students start fighting over the last Kit Kat bar. Security shows up. Yeah, we've got piñatas on multiple floors. I repeat, there are multiple piñatas. Olivia gets called to the office. She's carrying a broken bat that's covered in Smarties dust. The principal says, you brought 4 piñatas to school today. Yeah, it's my birthday. Well, happy birthday. You're suspended. She gets a 1-day suspension. But for the rest of that year, all people could ever talk about was that crazy day with the 4 piñatas. And that sounds absolutely legendary. There was this kid in 8th grade, and to be clear, nobody liked him. Why? Well, because he was frickin' mean. He would steal people's food and say, mine, survival of the fittest. He barked at the PE teacher once. Ruff. And he had this really insane talent of making other people cry. Kid was a certified menace. One day during lunch, he picks up one of those tiny square milk cartons, and he sees someone across the way and says this, "Hey nerd, catch this." He winds up, he launches the milk carton, and he misses. The milk carton missed the kid he was trying to throw it at, but it hit the security guard in the chest. "Oh, you, come here now." And let me say this, the security guard was a huge, buff dude. People respected him because they were terrified of him. "Oh, no. I'm so sorry." Well, this 8th grader is now starting to panic because he's terrified. "I said, come here now." He starts walking over there, slowly, in shame and terror. And just like that, every single student in the cafeteria begins cheering. Justice. Justice is served. Who's the nerd now? Loser. Everyone was just so happy that this kid, who seemed to never get in trouble but was always so horrible to other people, was finally getting the karma he deserved. The craziest bus ride ever. This happened on a 5th grade farm field trip. Middle of nowhere, long bus ride, bumpy roads. Kid in the front goes, "Ma'am, are we almost there?" "About 10 miles away, class. Hang tight." Then boom, glass explodes. Something smashes through the windshield. Kids are crying. The driver yells, "It's a bird! It's a big bird!" The teacher looks down and it's a full-grown turkey. Dead. Feathers, blood, just laying there on the aisle of the bus. Okay, nobody panic. Nobody touch the turkey. She grabs a binder and she scoots this giant dead turkey towards the back of the bus by the door. She then opens the back door of the bus and kicks this turkey as hard as she can like a soccer ball. Okay, everybody off the bus, line up against this fence. Head count, please. The kids are still shaking. There's feathers in their hair, because when she kicked the bird, it kind of exploded a bit. Really traumatic. The new bus will be here in 20 minutes, okay? And she's all calm like she's done this before. The trip was canceled, obviously. When the new bus got there, they all got in and they just went back to the school. But the smell of turkey death lingered on them for hours. Class is so messed up for this. It's middle school science and this teacher is a sweet older woman. She's soft-spoken, she's always kind, she truly cares about her students. She's one of the good ones. Well, one year she bought every single one of her students their own pencil case with her own money. She filled them with rulers, pencils, erasers, everything they could possibly need. Class, no need to bring supplies, I got you, okay? So each of her students has these full pencil cases, and one day she steps out for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's it. Snap, thud, whip. The students start chucking these pencil cases across the room, snapping rulers, breaking pencils, breaking the zippers, and they're all laughing like maniacs. She just walks back in, and she freezes. Wait, what happened? No one answers. She picks up a broken pencil case and holds it in her hands, and she just starts crying in front of everybody. Why would you guys do this? Why would you guys do this? Super messed up. Well, the next day she comes into class. She says this. "Class, I'm so sorry for getting upset yesterday. That was not good of me. I should have been more composed. I just wanted you guys to have everything you needed, okay? Anyway, I brought you all some candy." And then she gave them candy. Dude, they were the ones that should have apologized to her. She was one of the best teachers in that school. And students who were in that class say that this messes them up to this day. Which it should. What are you dipping your fries in? Applesauce? So one day, this cafeteria lady says, "No more salt or pepper," and just straight up takes all the packets of salt and pepper off the cart. Gone. People are like, "Wait, what? Why?" And she says this, "It's part of the new health initiative. We're cutting back on sodium." But here's the thing, they did this, but they're still selling Mountain Dew in the vending machine. 52 grams of sugar, fully stocked, vending machine right across from the lunch line. Doesn't make any sense. So now lunch is like unseasoned chicken sandwich, wet green beans, and a bright green bottle of rocket fuel. One kid goes, "We can't have salt, but I can buy a code red before math class? Make it make sense." Another kid is literally dipping his fries in applesauce. "I'm doing what I can, man. Just trying to survive out here." Ugh. Now this opened up a black market opportunity. Kids started smuggling salt and pepper packets into the lunchroom to sell them. But the lunch aides and the teachers were on it, and everyone who was caught selling this stuff or using it got detentions. It was a battle like this for a while, and guess what? The school never brought salt and pepper packets back. But the Mountain Dew vending machine, it's still glowing right there in the cafeteria. You skipped school yesterday. Yeah, I know. I have the perfect punishment for you. So this kid skipped school one day, and he wasn't even subtle about it. He didn't fake sick, he didn't have a note, he just didn't show up. And he was posting Snapchats during the school day of him at like McDonald's, riding his bike in the park, playing video games, and that got to the principal. So the principal was like, yo, this dude is dead. Next morning, he walks in and he gets called to the office. The principal's waiting. You skipped school yesterday. Yeah, you know what that means. Makeup work? No, suspension. So, I didn't come to school yesterday. Correct. And now you're punishing me by telling me not to come to school. Exactly. You're suspended. We'll see you next week. He walks out confused. Like, is that even a punishment? He got suspended for 2 days, so Thursday and Friday were off. Then he had the weekend. It was a nice long weekend for him. The best part, his parents were working late all week. So he literally just stayed home, ate cereal, and played Xbox. Now, I'm not advocating going to get suspended to stay home and do stuff. I'm just saying, for this offense, for skipping school, getting suspended feels like a really weird punishment. An in-school suspension probably be better, but I don't know. It was just crazy to me. What do you guys think? Legend of this school wasn't a student. It was the gym teacher, Mr. Lev. One day, during morning drop-off, he's out by the curb, helping kids get into the school while a bus pulls in too sharp and hits him. Full body contact. All right, guys, head on in there. Bell's about to ring. Oh, no. He goes flying. Like, it looked pretty bad. Everyone in the bus is screaming, oh my God, you killed him. Oh God. But what does Mr. Lev do? He stands up, walks onto the bus and goes, is everybody okay in here? Yeah. Are you? Oh, I'm fine. You guys should get inside. The bell's about to ring. And then just walks it off like nothing happened. From that day forward, he was untouchable. Like school-wide Chuck Norris energy. Now, a few years after graduation, there was this crazy rumor that Mr. Lev got fired for soaking raisins in vodka and drinking them throughout the day, which people are pretty sure that wasn't true, but still, he was fired. Well, years later, somebody saw his obituary. He had passed away. But people who knew him said that Mr. Lev was loved. He was like the Terminator. The only teacher to get hit by a bus and finish his shift. Rest in peace, Mr. Lev. Rest in peace. Kid ran a movie theater out of his garage, and yeah, he made money. This happened last summer. This one kid in the neighborhood, let's call him Johnny, not a really popular kid, but, you know, people didn't mind him. He had a brilliant idea. He set up a projector in his garage. He had a popcorn machine in there, and he lines up actual chairs with cushions on them, rows A through D. He charges $3 for admission and $2 extra if they wanted popcorn, and business was immediately booming. Every night, new movie. One night, it's Kung Fu Panda 2. The next night, Jaws. Friday night, playing Ratatouille. He does double features on weekends. By mid-July, the whole block's pulling up. Parents are sending kids with snacks to share with everybody. Some dude's dad is grilling out hot dogs in the driveway. It's a whole thing. It becomes this amazing, beautiful frickin' movie theater on someone's cul-de-sac. But it did go sideways for a second. One night, the theater was showing The Meg. You know, big shark movie. I've never seen it. But some kid brought his little brother, and this movie caused this kid's little brother to absolutely freak the heck out. Crying, he's horrified. This kid's parents shows up and they're super mad. That night the movie had to be shut down. Yeah, I'm not sure if your kid is qualified to run something like this. Yeah, well, your son's a little baby. Excuse me? Oh, this is better than the movie. Enough. Johnny's mom was finally like, you know what, that's it, no more shark movies, keep it all PG. And for the next few films, he did. But then he went back to playing the variety of movies that he really enjoyed, and it was fine. He ran this theater for 42 nights straight. And by the end of summer, he made $300. Man, that sounds like the perfect frickin' business. And you know what? You gotta respect the hustle. Oh, this backfired. This happened during a school test. This kid's about to get started, but this girl, his bully, says this to him right before. Hey, loser, I'm gonna cheat off you. This is the same girl that's been bullying him for years. But this time he has a plan. He just says, sure. Well, what this girl didn't know was that this kid got extra time on exams. So on test days, when class ends, most kids leave, but he still has an extra 30 minutes to finish the test. I had this in school as well. So here's what he did. The exam starts, and she's cheating off his test. Answer for answer. Identical. Well, for the first hour of the exam, he's answering everything wrong. Even the short answers. Stuff like, what is inflation? He puts, when a balloon gets bigger. So the second she finishes copying, she stands up, turns her test in, and done. Thanks, idiot. And walks out of the room all cocky, super smug. Well, at this point, everybody else had left, and now he begins his extra test time. He erases his entire test and fills everything back in with the correct answers. Perfect. A week later, they get their test back. He gets 100%. She gets a 0 because he purposely made every question completely wrong. This makes no sense. What's wrong? Oh, 0? That sucks. I got 100. Who's the idiot now? Hey, don't underestimate me. She was so mad, but from that day on, she rarely bullied him anymore because obviously this kid was 10 steps ahead. He's a genius for this. This kid ran a genius hustle. So at this one school, if your phone ended up in the lost and found, it stayed there until the parents of that student picked it up. That was the rule. If they took your phone, you were not getting it back. Then this kid named Marcus starts a business. $10 and I'll get your phones back before 6th period. Bro, what? They're in the front office. Yeah, well, Marcus had an older cousin that worked in the front office. And every day during lunch, Marcus would go to the office to say hi to his cousin. And when he did that, his cousin would quietly hand him a phone wrapped in a napkin. Hey, what's up, cousin? Oh, hey, Marcus, hope you're having a good lunch. Here is your snack I brought you. Good man. And nobody noticed. He had a group chat, phone retrieval services. You would DM him what class you lost your phone in and what your phone case looked like. He even had tiers. $10 for standard pickups during lunch, $15 if you had to go to the office during class, it's a bit more risky, and $20 if you get caught again the next day. It became this underground thing. But here's the twist. Eventually the principal finds out about this. He made a deal. I won't punish you, but for this next week, every single time someone messages you to do this, give me their name. Fine. He became a frickin' informant, and for that next week, he busted a lot of kids. Eventually, they found out that he had flipped and his business was completely washed. But still, I guess you gotta respect the hustle. Need a new egg? Oh god, you can use mine. It's physics class. This kid named Frank has a presentation, and he needs an egg for some reason. Well, he brings one from home. Just one. Well, before class even starts, he sees a kid in the hallway that he doesn't like, and his genius self decided to throw his only egg at this kid. He makes me so mad. Ew, what the heck? So now class is about to start, and he's just like, oh god, no, I don't have an egg anymore. I'm gonna fail. I need to find an egg. That's when some random kid who was walking by in the hallway stops and says this to him. You can borrow my egg, huh? He laughed, thinking it was a joke, but it wasn't a joke. This kid pulls out a real egg, and it has a face drawn on it. This is my son, Leonardo. Be careful with him, please. I'm gonna meet you back here after class. He hands it over like it's a sacred little egg. Frank uses it for his presentation, and he passes. The egg doesn't break. But Frank was so relieved that this all went well, when he was getting up to leave the classroom, he accidentally knocked Leonardo on the ground, and Leonardo cracked. Broke open. When he met the kid outside the classroom at the end, he just handed him bits of shells and yolk. Hey man, sorry, your egg broke. My bad, but thank you. Oh! Hey, Leonardo! My boy! Teacher took her inhaler. This girl had asthma. She kept her inhaler in her hoodie pocket always. Well, one day a teacher sees her pull it out and goes, put that away, no distractions. But it's my inhaler. Then use it before or after class. Give me it. Takes the inhaler. She sits there, silent. 2 minutes later, she starts wheezing. It gets worse. She's having trouble breathing now. Yo, she can't breathe. Very funny. Cut it out. She thinks she's faking it. Now the girl's on the floor. She's shaking and she can't breathe at all. Teacher still thinks she's faking it. Somebody runs to the hallway and grabs another teacher. Teacher comes in, takes one look and yells, "Where's her inhaler?" Kid points to the desk. But she's faking it, right? Give me that. Here. She uses it. Finally some relief. The principal gets called. That first teacher was essentially suspended for a week. She had mandatory training, and she never lived it down. To the point where she didn't come back to teach the next year. Yeah, who in the world would do this? Class was visiting colleges. They were all on a bus to visit one of these local colleges. Well, this junior was sitting by his girlfriend. Now, these two had been dating forever. Everyone knew them as that couple. But halfway through the bus ride, Kevin, we gotta talk. She breaks up with him on the bus. I can't do this anymore. You're an embarrassment to me. I have bigger things I want to do with my life. And you're going to hold me back. I'm done. We are done. Oof. And he's just taking it. She finally stops talking and he's just sitting there staring out the window. 5 minutes go by. Then he quietly stands up, lowers the window gap as far as it'll go, shimmies his way out, and jumps out of the bus while it's moving. The bus is going 35 miles per hour on the highway. Everyone's panicking. Stop the bus! Stop the bus! realized, oh my god, he jumped. What happened? Well, I broke up with him. He said he didn't want to be on this trip with me, and he jumped out the window. So, not my fault. Now, this kid was fine. When he jumped out, he landed on this big pile of grass on the side of the highway. Just some scrapes and bruises. But when he landed, he just stood up and just ran into the woods. Full sprint. Backpack on and everything. They had to call his parents. His parents came to the side of the road where the bus was at. Staff was sent into the woods to go find him, and they found him, sitting by a creek on a log, crying softly to himself. Hey buddy, you okay? I loved her so much. Leave me here. Leave me here. A basic charge or fast? Let's do fast. I need it juiced up by next period. This kid figured out that everyone in his school always had super low battery on their phones. Teachers wouldn't let you charge your phone in class, and half of the outlets were blocked off. By third period, everyone's walking around with like 1% battery. So one day, he shows up to school with a massive portable battery bank. He hides it inside his locker, and he builds a business. $3 for a basic cord charge, $7 for the fast cord charge, $10 for full day priority service. Each cord is labeled blue, slow, red, fast. He's got adapters for every type of phone. He's got a chart in a spiral notebook, and business was booming. People are taking him up on this charging service. He's got sticky notes in every device. This phone for lunch only. This phone charging from lunch till end of day. You know, he was very organized. By the end of this week, he's got regulars. He's got VIPs. One girl even prepaid to have her own charging slot for the entire month to use whenever she wanted to. Kid asks if he can get a charge during science. Yeah, alright, basic or fast? Fast. Alright, that's $7. I'll be right back. But then one day, 3 kids show up to his locker in between classes, and they're all huddled around it. One teacher saw this and got very suspicious. She opens it up and finds 6 phones plugged into a glowing battery brick, fast charging cords tangled like spaghetti, and a handwritten menu taped to the door of the locker. Shut down, battery confiscated, parents called. That was it. He was definitely upset, but dang, what a business. In those 2 weeks he ran this, he made over $200. All because he had a good idea and a battery brick. Gotta respect the hustle. It's the middle of summer. No breeze, just that sticky sidewalk melting heat. And then the ice cream truck song. Every kid in the neighborhood stops when they hear it. Oh my god, it's here, guys, it's here! Yes! But it wasn't the ice cream truck. It was just Tyler, 11 years old, Bluetooth speaker in one hand and a cooler on wheels in the other. He's playing the ice cream jingle off a YouTube video. It just started walking the block. Well, kids come running out with cash. Wait, are you selling? Yep, got the stuff in my cooler. The prices are on the lid. He flips open the cooler. He's got everything. The SpongeBob pops, those like bomb pops, the strawberry shortcake ones, all perfectly frozen, bought in bulk from Costco. This kid is killing it. And the thing is, he would undercut the prices of the actual ice cream truck by $1, so his stuff was cheaper. By week 2, people were texting him to have them come by their house or their birthday party. It was a full-blown business. The real ice cream truck, out of respect, stopped showing up to this neighborhood altogether. This kid turned a Bluetooth speaker and a cooler full of ice cream into a full-blown empire, and that summer he made over $500. You gotta respect the hustle. Started with a rule. The dress code is to promote professionalism. No crop tops, no tank tops, no ripped jeans. Girls' pants can't be above their ankles. Some real crazy dress code stuff. Well, this girl had enough, and she wants to do something about it. So one day, she shows up to school in a full-body horse costume. Yes, I know it's a llama mask, but I don't have a horse mask, so bear with me. Mane, hooves, tail, covered head to toe. And technically, this horse costume followed every single rule. That's not professional. Show me where it says no horses. They couldn't do anything, because there was no rule in the handbook that said no costumes or no horses. There was no skin showing. Her ankles were covered by the horse costume. Like I said, she knew the handbook better than the teachers and the principal did. But the thing is, the teachers were obsessed with this. One teacher would bring her carrots every morning. Hey, horse girl, I got a carrot for you. That's hilarious. One teacher said, "You're my hero." Even the lunch lady would start neighing whenever she saw her. She wore this horse costume every single day for 3 straight weeks. But then the school finally added a new rule. No costume wear. If your phone goes off in class, you might get arrested. This school had a strict no phone policy. You couldn't even have your phone on you. Not in your pocket, not in your bag, nothing. But the real rule, if a phone rang, audibly buzzed, or dinged during class, the entire room had to stand up, hands on their head, and wait. So you see, 50 years ago, they invented broccoli. Alright, stand up. They would then send in a school officer to search every single student. Pocket checks, bag checks, didn't matter. Everybody was getting searched. And if you didn't comply, or if they found your phone, incarceration may result. That's what the handbook said, meaning you might get arrested, which doesn't make sense. And I want to remind you guys, this is a real story. So one day in third period, somebody's phone rings loudly. Everybody up, hands in your heads. The officer comes in. Well, one kid isn't standing up. Stand up. Eat my shorts, idiot. Excuse me? I said eat my shorts, big man. That's it. Get up. And they arrested the kid. Yes, I know he was talking back to him, but still, I don't know where the school got off or what kind of law they were writing on, but this entire thing just doesn't seem okay. Oh, do you sell gum? Nah, it's a subscription service. And that's what he called it, a gum subscription box. It all started because school banned gum, a hard ban. You got caught, detention, no questions asked. So this kid, Dorian, he builds a workaround. He doesn't sell gum directly. Like there's no handoffs in the hallway, none of that stuff. Instead, he offers subscriptions. You pay him on Monday, and every morning that week, a sealed envelope shows up in your locker. Inside, exactly what you ordered. Each envelope was coded by flavor. Green dot, spearmint. Pink dot, bubblegum. Orange dot, citrus. He called it drop-safe packaging. He never handled gum during the school day, only in the mornings, and he never spoke with customers after Monday. So they would give him their orders. Yeah, I want my weekly subscription. Every day I want 2 spearmint and 1 citrus. Bet. You? By week 3, half the 7th grade was on a plan. Teachers start noticing gum under desks, students secretly chewing gum in class, but no one ever sees where the gum comes from. They assumed it was coming from somebody because there was hardly any gum-related incidents before, and all of a sudden, everyone's chewing gum and there's gum under a bunch of desks. So they started pressing. Where'd you get this? I don't know, it was in my locker. They tried to trace it back, but these envelopes were very mysterious. Well, this is how everything ended. He was caught by a parent. A mom found one of his subscription envelopes in the laundry. She thought it was something very shady and she called the school. The admins did some investigating and they found some students who they pressed. And they snitched. This kid got shut down. In-school suspension for 3 days, and he had to write apology letters. But in just under a month, he made over $400. You gotta respect the hustle. So where's my daughter? Yeah, well, we got good news and bad news. This happened the second day of kindergarten. Ella is 5 years old. It's her second day ever riding the bus. The bus route ends at the daycare, and that's where her mom picks her up after work. But on this particular day, the bus pulls up. The kids get off, except for Ella. The daycare staff looks around. Wait a minute, where's Ella? They called her mom. Hi, did you keep Ella home from school today? Because she's not here. What? No, she was in the bus this morning. The mom calls the school. Where is my daughter? She didn't get off her bus today. I have no idea. They had no idea. They panic. The mom panics. 15 minutes later, the school calls the mom back. Hi, we know where she is. we know where she is. She had fallen asleep on the bus. The bus driver never checked the seats. They drove the bus back to the bus depot and locked the bus inside of the garage and left. Ella wakes up alone. On a dark, silent bus, and she's absolutely horrified, as you can imagine. There's no lights, there's no voices. She starts screaming. Ah! Finally, a mechanic hears her and runs over. She's in tears, she's shaking, she's hugging her backpack. The school apologized. The bus driver got fired, and that girl never took a nap on a bus ever again. Attendance office. Yeah, I'm calling about the high school for sale. Excuse me? So this kid lists the entire high school on Craigslist. Yep, puts it up there just like a house. Multiple acres, Olympic-sized track, full gym, swimming pool, great natural light. And for the contact number, he puts down the attendance office. On purpose, because everyone hated the receptionist. So for the next 3 days, she's just picking up, like, attendance office. Yeah, I saw the listing for the property. Is it still available? What listing? The high school for sale? With a pool? Call after call. People asking for showings. One guy said, yeah, I'm thinking about turning the gym into my own personal dojo. And hey, maybe you could even stop by once it's ready. What do you say, huh? You, me, champagne? Huh? Oh my God. It got so bad the school had to change the number of the attendance office permanently because these calls kept coming in. And the kid, he never confessed. To that school, he remained anonymous. And there were some copycat Craigslist ads after that, so the calls never really stopped for a while. It eventually fizzled out, but every time that phone rang, the receptionist's heart would sink. That's actually hilarious. You are a sad excuse for a student. Can you please leave him alone? No. This happened in a 7th grade social studies class. You see, this teacher, she had a reputation. She didn't like to grade papers. So at the start of every class, students had to grade each other's papers for her. And it always had to be done in red pen. Well, one day, this kid, quiet, he's kind of awkward. He has trouble focusing. Probably like me, he's probably got ADHD. He asks the person next to him, hey, can I borrow a red pen? Before he even gets an answer, the teacher snaps loudly. Don't you dare give him a pen. Whole class just stares. She just starts going off on him. You are a sad excuse of a student. Too lazy to even remember your own pen? You will go nowhere in life if you can't remember basic supplies. You are an absolute disgrace. It doesn't stop. She keeps going 10 minutes, then 15 minutes. Pathetic. Worthless. Embarrassment. Other students are getting incredibly uncomfortable. Please leave him alone. Okay, miss, he gets it. Just please stop. But she doesn't. She continues to tear him down in front of everybody. And when it's over, he just sits there, red in the face, tears building in his eyes. Doesn't say a word for the rest of class. Multiple students reported this, parents called the school, but nothing happened. There were no consequences. No apology either. She kept teaching, and he just kept to himself. That is completely messed up. This wasn't a field trip. It was a setup. Classroom, 12-year-olds, middle of math. All right, class, put your pencils down. We're going on a field trip. Wait, what? Where are we going? You'll see. Everybody line up. They line up, they walk outside the school, they walk down the road, they go through a fence, and then they see it. A vineyard. Isn't this a winery? I'm 12. Stay close. Are we like gonna study grapes or something? Shh. Just stay close. They get to the back of the winery, and they see this man. It was her husband. And right behind him was a woman. Another woman. The teacher turns to the class. Okay, everybody, that man is my husband. And that woman is who he's cheating with. Get a good hard look at the two. Stacy, what are you doing? Oh my god, they're on a field trip. That's cute. Shut up. Class, you all saw this, right? Okay, you are all my witnesses. And I want things out of the house by the end of the day. What? By the end of the day. The kids then line up again behind her and they walk back to school. That teacher then divorced her husband and she got remarried. And they are still together to this day. And they have a very happy marriage, so that's good. He's not breathing. I'm calling 911. This happened junior year. Middle of class, the teacher collapses. Hits the ground hard. It wasn't a fall. It was a full-blown cardiac arrest. One student jumps up, grabs their phone and dials 911. Yes, my teacher collapsed. I don't think he's breathing. Can they guide him while he gives chest compressions? Stay with me, teach. Stay with me, teach. Ambulance comes, they take the teacher's life is saved, and guess what the school does? They suspend that student. You're suspended. You broke the rules. School staff is supposed to approve all emergency calls. Are you kidding me? That was the actual policy. If something happened, you were supposed to go find a school admin, report the crisis, wait for a call to be authorized, and then somebody can call 911. Like, it doesn't make any sense. This kid's teacher was literally dying on the floor, and he got in trouble for calling 911 to save his life. And get this, later that same year, another kid has a seizure, cracks their head on the floor. The whole class is screaming, and it takes the school 30 minutes to approve the call. Sounds like they didn't really care about emergencies. They cared about control. And that is so messed up. Where does he get all his money? Oh, he runs a school storage empire. Nice. So this kid finds an extra locker. No name on it, no combination, just unlocked. And he gets an idea. He cleans it out, puts his own lock on it, and he starts a business. $3 a day for private storage. He spreads the word. People start taking him up on this. The first week he makes $15. Just from kids storing some random stuff, like a lunch or a hoodie. But he takes that $15 and he flips it. He starts renting lockers from other students. He found kids that never use theirs, and he gives them money. He rents it out from them. And now he's running his storage business out of their lockers as well. It's simple. He pays a small little fee. He charges people for storage and he keeps the profit. At his peak, he had 3 different lockers in 3 different hallways. Different clients, different time slots. People would store their phones before gym, put their hoodies in there when they were too hot. There was no drama, no theft. Everybody respected the system. He kept a spiral notebook to track who had what in what locker and when. He even offered weekly deals. $10 for 5 days guaranteed. One kid used that to store a bunch of snacks for himself to have throughout the week. But then, one day, 3 kids are hovering by locker 223. A teacher walks by, sees one of them pull out a whole bag of candy and a phone charger. Whose locker is this? Nobody answers. The admin gets involved. They pop the lock. Inside are 3 phones, a hoodie, a bag of Takis, and a pair of Crocs. They start asking around, and eventually his name got brought up and he was called to the office. Were you charging urging students to use lockers? No, I was offering a service, but what would you know about that? Locker Empire shut down, but in 2 weeks, he made over $100. No losses, no complaints. The only reason it ended was because it got too popular, and that's a good thing. You gotta respect the hustle.
বাবা
ভাই আমি তো এলাকা ছাড়ার আগে
তুমি একটা হীরার টুকরা ছেলে, যেই ছেলে
তানিয়া আমার পিস্তলটা নিয়ে আয় তো।
টাকা কি দুধটা রাইখে গেলাম।
মাত্র সে ফেসবুকে স্ট্যাটাস দিয়েছে সে একটি অনাথ বাচ্চাকে
কত স্যাক্রিফাইস করছি, এলাকার বড় ভাই থেকে রিক্সা চালক হয়ে গেলাম, আর সেইটাই করবো। যে গরম না, আর এই বড় ভাই তোর মায়ের চিকিৎসার দায়িত্ব নিছে। সেলিম ভাই ভালোবাসার লেগে জেল খাটছিল।
ভাই আপনি যত কথাই, এই বাড়িতে ওই বদমাইশটার কথা একবারও ভুলে উচ্চারণ করবা না।
ভাই মিনিমাম আপনি 17 লাইনের একটা কবিতা লেখেন। 17 লাইনের কবিতা
কিন্তু ছাপাই না, সব মাথার ভিতরে থাকে। যখন পড়তে ইচ্ছা করে মাথা, আমি জানো ওরে বাপ করে দেব। আর আমি কি কমু জানো, কমু তানিয়া ভালো কেমন বেটা কস না কেন ক বেটা,
এটা পড়ে আপনার প্রেমে পুরো রূপ করে পড়ে যাবো। আর উত্তর আপনি পারবেন ভাই, আপনি পারবেন।
ও 700 লাইন লিখবো, আর বাদ বাকি 300 লাইন আমি লেখা বললাম।
একটু নামিয়ে দাও, মানে ও ছাড়া পাক না পাক তাতে আমাদের কি?
কি খবর তোমাদের? কেমন আছো তোমরা সবাই? ভালো তো না? তুমি জানো তোমায় কালকে একটা কতবার কল দিছি।
হ্যালো, আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। কি রে এদার তুই মানা করতেছি কিছু না কিছু। ভাবি আপনি জানেন আমি একবার অসুস্থ হয়ে গেছিলাম, ও আমাকে রক্ত দেয়নি, আর আজকে আপনাকে রক্ত দিয়ে চিঠি লিখছে।
আমাকে বুকিং দিছে মানে আমাকে কে বুকিং দিছে দোস্ত? তোর যে আশিক আছে না, এখন তো আমার পিছনে লাগছে।
এই এই দুলাভাই সামনে থাকলে যে সালাম দিতে হয়, আপনি শিখাই নাই তোরা? কেমন আছো তুমি?
ভালো।
আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করবো না রক্তটা দিবি তুই? আমি কেন রক্ত দেবো? প্রেম খরচ তুই, রক্ত আমার বন্ধু দিছেন আপনাকে অনেক ভালোবাসি ভাবি, আপনার ওর রক্ত যাওয়াটা বিধে হতে দিবেন না ভাবি। 076421924 এটা তোমার নম্বর না?
জি জি, আপনি কেমন আছেন?
ভালো নেই, আমি ভালো নেই। আমিও তোর মতোই ভাবতেছি, রক্ত যদি মিঠা যায়, রক্তটা আপনার কাছে এইটা আমার লাস্ট রিকোয়েস্ট ভাবি।
আচ্ছা
কখন আসবে তোদের ভাবি? আর ভালো লাগতেছে না আমার, সে যে কেন এলো
বাদ কবিতা লিখতে হইব কয় লাইন লেখছস দে নাহলে কিন্তু আমি তোকে পিটামু দে তাদের
লাগবে হইব না ভাই, এটা স্যার আপনি যেটা করবেন এটা করবো। কোন খারাপই করে কিন্তু কবিতা লিখতে পারবো না।
কোনো মাপ নাই।
এটা পড়ে আপনার প্রেমে পুরো রূপ করে পড়ে যাবো গা। আর উত্তর আপনি পারবেন ভাই, আপনি পারবেন।
এত কিছু ফালানোর সিস্টেম জানোস আর প্রেমে ফালানোর সিস্টেম জানোস না, কথা তো একেবারে ফালায় দেওয়ার মতো না। তাকে যদি তোরা গুলিও করস আগে সালামটা দিয়ে নে।
আপনার ছেলেকে আমার এত পছন্দ হয়েছে যে আমি তো বিয়েতে রাজি হয়ে গেছি।
বছরেও পড়বো না।
আমি তোমাকে চ্যালেঞ্জ দিলাম, তুমি যদি 7
মাস্তানি মুস্তানি অপরাধ, এই 7 দিন খালি খাবি আর
এরকম পট্টি দিয়ে রাখছস কেন?
আমি চাই এই মহৎ কাজটার সাথে আপনি থাকেন। হ্যাঁ, আমাদেরকে 100
দুনিয়ার খাসা বেড়া। হ্যাঁ, আরে বেটা বড় ভাইয়ের মতো একটা বড় ভাই মানে টুকুর।
কিন্তু ছাপাই না, সব মাথার ভিতরে থাকে। যখন পড়তে ইচ্ছা করে মাথা আমি জানো ওরে বাপ করে দেব। আর আমি কি কমো জানো তবু তানিয়া ভালো কেমনে বেটা কস না কেন বেটা
তোমার আমি আসল ফুল গাতে আচ্ছা করে বুঝতেছি।
গর্জন করলেই সবকিছু অর্জন হয় না, বুঝছস?
তানিয়া শুধু ভাত কেন?